Today I want to show you something that I'm working on, because one of the things that I'm trying to do this year is try and grow as much food as possible, and I'm trying to use the space very efficiently. And one of the things that I've been doing inside the quail cage is I made these tiny little raised beds that kind of go in front of the fruit trees, but now what I've done is on the opposite side I've made these long raised beds out of pieces of the shed that we took down, and I'm going to show you how we're filling them up so that the soil should be in really good condition and should have all the right kind of soil life and the good soil structure, at least the beginnings of a good soil structure. And it's actually very simple, and I'm using a mixture of kitchen waste and the guinea pigs' old bedding. Outside it's freezing but this is why I love this thing, because it might look like a tent of shame, but it is very warm. And this is what I've been doing. So I made these out of pieces of the broken up shed. Over there you can see the long raised beds that I made from the old compost bin, and what I've been doing is I've been planting plants in there that are specifically either to keep bugs away from the trees, like garlic, onions, anything that smells quite repugnant to the kind of bugs that could end up going for my apple trees. But the thing is that garlic, quail love garlic and they will eat it. So I've planted it all over their quail enclosure. So even though everything is pretty dead, the garlic is still coming up, and I'm going to be adding more plants over the rest of the year that will provide food for them during the winter as well, so that they don't just have to rely on the feed that I give them. But what I'm doing to get these beds ready is at the very bottom I'm putting all the guinea pig bedding, which is straw and then obviously the guinea pig poo. So that's great. So then we have natural animal fertilizer in the soil, and then on top of that I'm putting a small layer of things like the coffee grounds, the coffee waste, a little bit of kitchen waste as well. And then over that what I'm doing is I'm putting leaf mulch, wood chips, and then I'll be putting a layer of compost. Now I won't be planting in these for another 2 or 3 months. It gives it plenty of time to break down, especially with the added kind of help of the guinea pig waste breaking down as well. And then what I'm going to do is all these all the way along, this is where I'm going to be growing my beans, specifically the Greek Gigantes beans. And when I made this enclosure, what I did is I used these hooks here. So I'm going to have strings which are going to go here, they're going to connect down to there, so I'll have this kind of string trellis, and I'll be able to grow the beans up it, kind of creating a walled garden, which will give the quail a bit more privacy. They like being in a tiny bit of shade, it makes them feel safer and less exposed. And it will have the added benefit of using up an area of the garden which previously was just not getting used. And Greek Gigantes in particular, they kind of need to dry out on the pod. So I should have a huge amount of beans ready next winter that I can just save and use throughout the winter.